Oh, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I got this little curly bun on top of my head. Good morning, everybody. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe on your way in. I got a little curly, little messy bun up on top of my head situation um today because me and my son are going swimming. So I do have that going on. Um How is everybody doing? Please make sure you hit that like button on your way in. Let me know you here. Happy Thursday. Hey, Finn. Hey, Tisa. How are you guys? So I gotta make you guys laugh, right? So it was brought to my attention that some people want to debate me in politics or whatever, or the idea was floating around or whatever. And listen, I'm here for the challenge if people would like to have a political debate about things. Um, but I also heard that they got a little upset that they were like, it would be a great debate, da 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 da. Y'all know I'm ready for a little back and forth, but it is what it is. I heard the person got a little upset when they mentioned my name or whatever, but hey, no harm, no foul. Okay, no harm, no foul. But welcome to Politics in Plain English, where we discuss the current political events, what they mean, um, and how it affects you. Okay, that's what we have going on today. So we kind of have a couple things we're going to run through today. A couple things we're going to watch, kind of like we did yesterday. I had fun with it yesterday. You guys, especially like laughing at some of the folks that are on there. It tickles me from time to time. But first, let's talk about wig. Let's talk about President Wig. So President Wig, um, President Wig said that he was floating around these claims that wind, the wind power, the wind plants that we have out in the Middle West, in the Midwest, causes cancer. Well, his administration has been up on Capitol Hill, undergoing a lot of questions, right? Hearings, getting to the bottom of things and getting folks on record, right? Because that's the whole thing. You want to get them on record because it is a crime to lie to Congress, right? You can be held to contempt because at um, at the Capitol there is a jail underneath it. Hey, Roxy, there is a jail underneath it, right? So he was telling everybody that those wind plants cause cancer. Well, his main environmental person was up on Capitol Hill, and he had to actually state that it does not cause cancer. And I saw this post and I thought it was absolutely right. They said this is the real reason Trump hates the wind farms. President Wig, okay? As you can see, he hates unflattering pictures of himself. He's an unflattering person, but even his eyebrows are blowing up. Like, it's like, sis, you got a spray tan, a bad wig, like, sis, and wooden teeth. His teeth are bad. You ever watch him talk? Like, his teeth are bad, but this is President Wig, y'all. He hates to see any type of wind coming. Okay. And don't forget that he also does number 2 on himself as well. Okay. We know that he's walking around, he's got a bowel syndrome issue. So the wind hates to see him coming because also the wind is carrying the funk. The wind is also carrying that funk that several people have spoken about. So, even his niece has spoken about it. You know what I'm saying? Even his niece has spoken about this. And she said he shits on himself and he has somebody that changes him all the time. I mean, he was already caught on a hot mic saying, I've got a shit. So, he's got a glorified babysitter. But anyway, this y'all president. Okay. This y'all president. This is y'all's president. And also this is y'all president, President Wig. These are the words that most Americans think apply to Donald Trump a lot. Arrogant, opportunistic, corrupt, and dishonest. And all of these are over 50%. Pay attention, they're all over 50%. That means he has a problem on his hands. He has a bona fide problem on his hands. He has a bona fide problem on his hands just because these are going to be a lot of independent voters that, the voting pool really relies on, because the independent voters is really the swing voters. They vote either way. And they can either get you in there and get you up out of there. Okay. So he's got a problem on his hands because when people think of leaders like this, that means you're not doing a really good job, especially opportunistic, corrupt, or dishonest. You're just not doing a really good job. And not only is he not doing a good job with the country and the economy, he's also doing a really bad job at commencement speeches. So he just was at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy on the 20th, yesterday. I don't know why they continue to do this to us or to these poor graduates. I would never have him come speak at a graduation because he always somehow makes an ass of himself. Good morning, Barn Dog. He always somehow makes an ass of himself, right? I want y'all to hear him, and I want you guys to tell me what y'all got out of this. I still don't know what he's talking about. And I've listened to it several times. That was one of the reasons why I was just a few minutes late coming on, because I was trying to dissect what he was trying to say so I could translate it to you guys. But see, I'm not that skilled. Or maybe it's just that I'm not that dumb. I don't comprehend this very well, but I want you guys to hear this.
Currently under construction. We have 11 beautiful. And I said, come on, when's the first one coming? They said, in 28. I said, I'm going to be here in 28. Maybe I'll be here in 32 too. I don't know. Maybe I will. But I'm going to be here in 28. But we're making right now, currently under construction. We have 11 beautiful. And I said, come on, when's the first one coming? They said, in 28. I said, I'm going to be here in 28. Maybe I'll be here in 32.
We have 11 beautiful things coming. Like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? And in his mind, he thinks he's going to probably still be alive 2032. The man that eats McDonald's every day. Like, what? Like, I still don't know what he's talking. Like, I was like, what? Just listen to it again.
I don't know. Maybe I will. But I'm going to be here in 28. But we're making right now, currently under construction. We have 11 beautiful. And I said, come on, when's the first one coming? They said, in 28. I said, I'm going to be here in 28. Maybe I'll be here in 32 too. I don't know.
I'll be here in 28 and maybe be here in 32. I don't know, but remind you, yesterday he just said that he has a 99% approval rating in Israel, and once he's finished over here, he may go over there and run for prime minister. Can you go like now and go over there? Please and thank you. Can you go like now? Can you give us some relief? Because listen, we're going to all need therapy after this. We're going to all need some sort of therapy. Okay. Like, seriously. And then I want y'all to hear another part of this commencement speech. I just want you guys to hear how the rambling just continued. Y'all can't tell me the way this man is deranged. He's definitely off. They call this in dementia sundown, I believe it is what they call it. But just listen. Tell me if you can figure out what he's talking about.
change that we can't even think of right now. The things will happen, and I believe for the best, hopefully for the best, but I believe for the best. But things will happen that you can't even imagine.
Y'all see that little bang blowing in the wind? I told y'all the wind, listen, he hate to see the wind coming. You see that little bang floating up there, baby? You should have had some boho glue, baby, wig glue. Anyway.
And it's going to be very exciting, but the way that's going to happen is through thinking big. Nothing great was ever built. Think of that. Nothing great was ever built without the word momentum at your side. In times of your life, you'll have momentum. That's the time you go for it.
What? Big momentum. I would have got up and walked the fuck out. This is a delusional man. Like, seriously. I'm surprised. And I go back to this. Why doesn't it have delusion on here? Why we don't have Delulu on here? Like, seriously, why we don't have Delulu on here? I just want to know. And since we're talking about delusional, this guy. I be telling you all the time that this guy, that these Republicans are so anti-LGBTQIA plus community, and they be in the community. The way Kristi Noem's husband is a cross-dresser. You got J.D. Vance pants wearing eyeliner and dresses. They found pictures of him in college wearing dresses. Okay. You have Donald Trump that was rubbing that wrestler, that MMA fighter, and telling him he's a beautiful man. Okay. And don't forget that Grindr, the whole entire application crashed during the RNC convention. Now it comes out that a GOP candidate who opposes LGBTQ plus rights allegedly had a relationship with men on Grindr. But he's out here talking about he believes in traditional marriage. It is always them. And do not forget that the correspondence dinner, you know, the one where that fake assassination attempt allegedly was also hosted by Grindr. Okay. These men be on Grindr looking for a piece of meat, looking for some trade. Okay. Looking for somebody to have party favors with. Okay. These are the people that always want to talk about gay folks shouldn't have this, gay folks shouldn't be having that, but yet they be married with a wife and cross-dressing with prostitutes and going on Grindr searching for some ass. I said it. But they love to throw the Bible in there, though. But he's been caught. And we're going to use the word allegedly. Allegedly. And you know what else has been caught? Right here. So you remember we was talking about the Trump phones, and then people hadn't received them phones yet, and they put $100 deposit in the clause. It said it does not mean that the phones will be made or shipped. Well, come to find out that some of the phones have reportedly, been shipped, and that they are rebranded pre-existing Android devices. So they're not new. They're refurbished. And just threw his little brand name on it. They're just refurbished. That's it. And that's all. See, the tricks don't stop. They just liars. They liars, cheaters, grifters. They're all of these things, right? They're all of these things. They are liars and grifters, just like this one. He a liar too. J.D. Vance pants that wears eyeliner. Remember, he said, when somebody steals $1.4 billion from a government program, that is theft from you, the people. Meanwhile, Trump is creating a slush fund from the very people that was trying to steal the vote and did not want a peaceful transfer of power. They were in an attempt to kill J.D. Vance. They were looking for Nancy Pelosi. They actually died. They actually killed Capitol police officers. They rioted. They stormed in. They was beating them with poles. They had gas masks everywhere. Gas everywhere. They had gas masks on because they came for destruction. Okay. All of those flags, they were breaking things. They were smearing feces all over places. They were entering in folks' office and destroying them and taking pictures with their feet up on the desk. Okay. They were doing all of this, and now they're getting reparations. They want white folks to get reparations for destroying the Capitol building. But see, here's a such thing. There's also a such thing as a constitution, right? And in the Constitution, in the section 4 of the 14th Amendment, it also says there that, but neither the United States nor any state shall assume or pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid of insurrection or rebellion against the United States. Hot damn. This is part of the Insurrection Act. Actually, Donald Trump should be locked up because of the Insurrection Act. He should have already been pretty much banned from running from office again due to the Insurrection Act. Okay. See, you got to know the law. Not that he cares about the law, but see, now what is also happening though with this, those cops are now suing the administration. They are now suing the administration because now they're trying to say, you got folks saying that no one died during this. Okay. They are now saying that no one died. Okay. They are now talking about nobody died during this time. And that is blasphemy in itself because we watched it in real time. We were watching it in real time. We saw what was going on. We saw we've spoken to injured police officers who were there. Come on. They are trying to always bamboozle us behind something. I'm going to tell you somebody else who's a bamboozler too. Jesus. Let me just roll the good old bean footage here. And he's another bamboozler. Y'all remember the good old Epstein files? Remember that? Remember we talked about the good old Epstein files? RFK, the one who is dismantling the CDC little by little, the one who was responsible for the team that inspects cruise ships to make sure they are up to par in their sanitation efforts, right? The one who makes sure we have our immunizations available, that if there is some type of epidemic, pandemic, new strands of things out, we have scientists who have given their life's work to find cures, getting medicines approved, therapies approved, all of these things approved, right? But he's sending all of these people home. Not only did he admit he snorted off of a dirty toilet, okay, he is now admitting that he was on Epstein's plane. Y'all, we can't make this up if we wanted to. He is now on Epstein's plane and says that his wife had some type of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell. Child, let's just take a listen here.
The Jesus out of the Bureau. You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it in 1993, and I was on it and I went to Florida with my wife and 2 children.
everyone knows Jeffrey Epstein has been a monster, will always be a monster. And these folks had not only were they on flights, they have their significant other on a flight and have their children around this man. Going to Florida, and I bet you I can guarantee they were in Mar-a-Lago. I can almost guarantee it because you know that was Jeffrey Epstein's hideout spot in Florida. Because Donald Trump got upset that he claimed he's taking my girls. They knew exactly what was going on. Mind you, Pam Bondi was the attorney general in that area. She knew what was going on. She's just as complicit. Her hands are not clean. Melania's Trump hands are not clean. The stories that are going to unfold with this is going to have a rippling effect. Trust me, believe me, because people are into this. They actually have a reading room in New York right now of Epstein files. And Katie Fang, who is one of my favorite legal minds, a lawyer, has now sued the government for the Epstein files, and she's going to win. She's that girl. She used to be a federal prosecutor. She's that girl. Anyway, continue.
Visit my mom over Easter. My wife had some kind of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they offered us a ride to Palm Beach. So I went then, and then on another occasion, I flew again with my family, with I think 4 of my children, and
The Jesus out of the bureau. You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's.
Ooh-wee. He said he went a couple of times with his children. Yo. At this point, the real question is, anybody in this administration, has anybody not been tied to Epstein in this administration? Like, no, seriously, because I just want you to listen to it in totality. Just listen to it in totality.
The Jesus out of the bureau. You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it in 1993, and I was on it and I went to Florida with my wife and 2 children to visit my mom over Easter. My wife had some kind of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they offered us a ride to Palm Beach. So I went then, and then on another occasion, I flew again with my family, with I think 4 of my children, and
Girl, this shit sick. This shit's sick. It's so sick. It's sick. It's real sick. And if you think that Thomas Massey did not lose his race because he is trying to uncover the Epstein files, think again. Okay. And I want y'all to listen to Brian Tyler Cohen as he shreds this woman. These 2 white women, might I add. They don't seem to think that this had nothing to do with it, when it had everything to do with it. Okay. And they spent money for an outside person. And when I say outside, I'm talking about somebody from another country to come in and pour that money in there to defeat Massey. And that is going to blow back in their face so bad. And Massey ain't no saint, because he has sided with Trump over 90% of the time. He's the one that got Hegseth in there. He's the one that got all of those Supreme Court justices in there. He's the one that got RFK in there. So I don't feel no type of way about it. Only thing he should do now is all of the rest of his vote should be on the opposing side. He needs to reach across the aisle and vote that way until he is no longer in office. You want to talk about get back that way. You still ain't no saint. You ain't no hero. But anywho.
Interesting that in none of the lead up to what you're discussing now with Thomas Massie, did anybody name the number one thing that caused Donald Trump to push out Massie in the first place, and that was his support, Massie's support for the Epstein files. That's why this is all happening. That's why Donald Trump turned on him, which is especially ironic given the fact that Trump and all of his administration officials were falling over themselves to demand the release of the Epstein files when they were just on the campaign. But as soon as it became clear that Trump was implicated in those files, that his name was listed in those files, God knows how many times, then all of a sudden they wanted Massie out.
Brian, we all know that President Trump signed legislation to release millions of Epstein documents, and he is not implicated criminally in any of this.
3.5 million files they refused to release.
In any of this. So for you to imply that there are crimes committed is completely dishonest. Ashley, your response to that.
So then why don't they release the other 3.5 million files?
That's not why President Trump went after Thomas Massie, as Ashley eloquently pointed out. But Ashley, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that. I mean, Massie's been a problem for a long, long time. I mean, obviously, this is his 8th term. I mean, he doesn't vote.
How is it that he's been a problem when he is voted over 90% of the time with his party, and his party has been pushing things that Donald Trump has wanted? We all know what the problem is. The problem is because he has been a stand to have these Epstein files released and these victims heard. Period, point blank, full stop. But yet again, we see why white women will continue to be the problem. Because they are not opening their eyes. They want to always coddle and protect a white man. Okay, a mediocre white man at that. Someone who is not educated, someone who can't even control when he shits. Let's just keep it a buck. These two girls right here, it's the women like them who actually helped get him elected outside of Elon Musk, peeling off votes. But it's these type of white women who cannot see beyond their nose because they want to follow behind a mediocre white man and sit there and be the guardrails for them and say, no, you're lying. No, honey, you're not facing the facts. And the facts are his name was in there because why did Pam Bondi order the FBI to scrub his name from the files? And we still found out some of the names because they couldn't even redact properly. There is a proper way to redact names, not going into PDF and just putting a black thing because it was shown a high schooler pulled it up in Adobe and unredacted those names. And Donald Trump is in it because if Melania Trump is in it, talking about let's do dinner. Do you really think that Donald Trump's name is not in it? Donald Trump was upset that him and Epstein were battling over real estate property. That's how their feud started. But it's white women like this is the reason why we can't even uncover where some of these bodies are buried.
With us ever. So I understand your talking point in regards to the Epstein files on the Democrat side, but that has nothing to do with how bad of a Republican member he was.
Neither one of you think that the Epstein files had anything to do with Trump turning on Thomas Massie?
No,
Brian,
Massie hasn't voted for any of the Republican priorities. Not the big, big beautiful bill. Nothing.
It's funny to me. I understand. Like everybody has to pretend that the Epstein files on the right has to pretend that the Epstein files are not a thing anymore. But everybody watching and everybody who's going to see this on the internet is going to know how clownish all of this is. That you are both pretending like the Epstein files had nothing to do with this when the people that Trump is turned on, he's done as a direct result of their support for the Epstein
president
files.
has been very clear over and over again for months why he believed that Thomas Massie was not the man for the job. The person who replaced him is a former Navy SEAL who is going to go in and vote for the party, for the country, for the president's agenda, when this is a district that President Trump won by 85%. So I know that Democrats only started to care about the Epstein files when it was politically convenient for them. They had nothing to say about it for 4 years under Joe Biden when he was in charge of the DOJ. They were releasing nothing. President Trump is the one who decided to sign the legislation to release these documents. And I find it quite interesting that when I ask you who's...
And let's stop it right there, because the investigation was currently active. So when an investigation is ongoing, they're not going to leak anything, because that could tip off who they're investigating. You're not going to be able to say, hey, are you investigating this guy? And they'd be like, yeah, we're investigating them, so that somebody can run back and tell them so they can then begin to cover their tracks. That's not how investigations go, especially not at the federal level. They're not telling you nothing. You don't know that you've been investigated until they've knocked at that door. And by that time, it's too late. So again, these are the type of enablers that are allowing these liars, these pedophiles, okay, these rapists, these sexists, these disgusting people to be in power. They love to twist facts up and push out this propaganda and this narrative that Joe Biden should have did something. Joe Biden is long and gone and enjoying his life with his grandchildren. We are in today. Let's talk about what's going on today. They never want to talk about what's going on today. They always reach back to, oh, Joe Biden, Barack Obama. Barack Obama been gone how long? How long has Barack Obama been gone? I digress.
So who is the leader of the Democratic Party when Barack Obama and Kamala Harris got their butts kicked tonight in Georgia and in other places around the country, losing that Supreme Court case in Georgia, losing the redistricting fight in Virginia, losing the fight in Louisiana, losing the fight all over the map? You want to change the subject and
losing the fight all over the map, when really it's not. It's because there are judges that are bought and paid for. The only way Republicans can win is if they cheat. If they cheat. The Democrats have put up legislation to ban gerrymandering across the country. And every time it has been brought up, Republicans vote no for it. If they can win off of their own merit, stop redistricting to where you're splitting up these counties and these districts that are heavily populated with a Black population. Stop splitting it up to make it impossible for them to put someone that they identify with in power.
Talk about the Epstein files once again.
Answer me just one question. Did they release all of the files?
They are in the process of redacting to release all the files because we want to make sure, and I would hope you would agree with this. Look, I'm not going to allow a conversation that's supposed to be about elections to be derailed.
You see how they can't handle it? They can't handle it when it's given back to them. I'm not going to allow, they can never handle it. They can never handle it. They're nothing but snowflakes over there. They can never handle the truth. They can never handle what is going on. They can never handle it. They can never handle it. Meanwhile, let's not forget. Let's not forget.
In Pennsylvania, and he's a popular guy. And then he journeyed to Pennsylvania, where he spent like a month and a half campaigning for me in Pennsylvania. And he's a popular guy, and he was very effective. And he knows those computers better than...
He knows. He campaigned for me in Pennsylvania. He's an effective guy, and he knows those computers better than anyone. And they want to convince us that they can win because the American people, the majority, will vote for the GOP. That is categorically incorrect. This man has cheated. And he's telling folks in plain daylight.
Anybody, all those computers, those vote counting computers, and we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide. So it was pretty good.
He didn't win it in a landslide. They shaved off enough votes to make sure that it would not be a runoff. Okay. They voted off to make sure it'd be a runoff, right? Runoff. Meanwhile, they did one thing right. They finally dropped the $1 billion ballroom funding because they're getting a backlash. Okay? They're getting a backlash. You know where else they're getting a backlash from? The people don't want data centers. And now the Denver City Council, because Missouri, out there in Missouri, that city council voted yes for the data centers, and the voters then turned around and unseated all of them. Fired all of them, right? Denver City Council now is like, we're probably in trouble. You are. It is polluting our waters. It is taking our clean water. It is rising the price of energy all over. Okay. People that live in these areas are talking about the humming noises that they consistently hear all the time. People want to live regular lives, decent, peaceful lives where they have clean water, clean air, affordable energy, affordable gas, affordable groceries, affordable healthcare. They want affordability. But instead, we have racists in office. Instead, we have racists that are in office. And you know, we did a disservice. We have racists in office, and racist, because we have racists in office, it has given folks the platform to wear their racism out loud, where it has seeped into the school system so bad that is no longer being quietly done. It is done out loud, and thank God for cell phones, because now we have teachers. And this is why I always tell people, be mindful of how your students, how your children are responding to going to school. Because it's a lot of times it is not them. A lot of times it is their teacher. You better go in there and figure out who their teacher is, because they might have a full-blown Karen as their teacher. Here we are. We have a teacher in a school who has put a black doll baby with a cord around the doll's neck and openly hanging the doll right underneath the TV, which is conveniently posted next to the American flag. Y'all not gonna tell me this ain't no sick shit. Y'all not gonna tell me this ain't no sick shit. And this is why I always say, send your kids to HBCUs. It's okay. Your neighborhood school may be better than that predominantly white school across the town, because your children should be going to school in a space where they feel safe, because when they're safe, they are now going to learn. They don't have to be on guard. Their nervous system is calmed down. But instead, we have our students that are now having to endure things such as this out loud in front of the entire classroom. Can you imagine what these kids were feeling? And it was other kids that were disturbed from it, and not just black kids, it was white kids as well that were disturbed from this very thing, because it is so disturbing. to watch. And how do you think, as a parent, your child is showing you this video of what is going on? Baby, let me tell you, I would have went up to that schoolhouse and I might have went to jail. But you cannot tell me that the United States of America is not a racist country when in a public school that our tax-paying dollars fund, this is happening. Just pay attention.
Oh my God. She got it. She got it. Oh my God.
Now, of course, you can hear some kids laughing. You hear some kids saying, oh my God. But you're watching this teacher consistently throw the doll baby through the back of the TV so that she can pull this baby up and hang them like back in the day. Y'all better wake up. We as a culture have fallen asleep behind the wheel because we had affirmative action. We started being able to be in spaces where we're making a little bit more money. Okay. Being able to choose our own pathway for our lives and for our kids' lives. And we've fallen asleep at the wheel because here we are yet again in 2026. Our children are going to school with racist, pure racist. This is utterly disgusting. It's disheartening. And it's scary too. Because if they're doing this in front of the camera, can you imagine what they're doing when the camera isn't rolling and they're at home? The things that they're saying when no one is around? Because if they're brazen to do this, oh, can you imagine the other stuff? Or the things that have been done that have not been caught on camera? Just like that white teacher that was slapping that Black autistic boy who is nonverbal. And his mom had sense enough to put a hidden camera in his hair and got it all on tape. This is absurd. In America, this is who you are. This is who you've always been. You are founded on racism, on being a murderer. We're not the original savages, and I wish folks would understand that. I wish people would wake up and realize they like to put us as monsters because it makes them feel better. And the reason why they want to take the real history out of how America started is because they don't really want to open their eyes to see how bad it really was. Because again, as I said yesterday, they used to eat us. And it was written in their own literature. They wrote about it. These are not our words. This is their words. And I'll tell you one thing. We dropped the ball when we didn't get Jasmine Crockett into that Senate race. But what she said yesterday, she was spot on. Baby was so spot on. Okay. They can't deal with an articulate Black woman, and she don't play with them. Just take a listen.
People that are in organizations that are absolutely white supremacy organizations should get our tax dollars because they decided to tear apart or attempt to tear apart our democracy. They are being rewarded. These are people that went through our criminal justice system. When people on that side of the aisle claim that they love law and order, they went through it. They either entered pleas of guilty or they were found guilty. And this president, on day one, his priority was not around racism. It was around doing things like letting them go and now putting money in their pockets. We haven't had one hearing on white supremacy. Yet when we look at things like the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, the 9 worshipers who were murdered at the Mother Emanuel AME Church, the 23 people murdered in 2019 during the shooting at Walmart in El Paso, the 10 people murdered during the 2022 shooting at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York. All of these were murdered by white supremacists who are empowered by the Republican Party's racist rhetoric and policies. This is the same party that wants to drag us back to the Jim Crow era. Some say that there aren't poll taxes, and I guess it's because they're not listing the amount of money. But when you tell somebody that they've got to go and pay for something, say like a passport that costs over $100 in order to be able to vote, that looks like a poll tax to me. Some of y'all need to read up on your history books, the very same ones that the Republicans have decided that people should not hear about, because you don't want real history taught in our schools because you're afraid that it's going to hurt people's feelings to know that their ancestors were so savage that they would enslave black folk. You don't want them to understand why the 14th Amendment mattered then and it matters today. You don't want them to understand that when they draw these racist lines and tell black folk that they shouldn't have representation in this country, that it is against the Constitution. You want them to be ignorant so that they can sit up here and be your token for your mission.
Has expired.
Woo!
You can't yield because you done run out of time.
We know he racist by himself. And that's how you read a bitch. That's how you clear a hoe down. She said what she said. And what she said was spot on. They're too afraid to have a mirror held up to them to show them what the folks that they come from have done to others. They want to eradicate the 14th Amendment. Okay? Baby, we're going to miss that voice. I'm sure she will be back. But she said the truth, and more people need to start stating the truth. And you know who else has been saying the truth? And I'm finding it increasingly more and more that there are a lot of white pastors who are coming out and having a few things to say, because they're going to have to speak out as well. It's not just going to take black pastors anymore. I want you guys to listen. Pastor Livingston rips this administration a new one. And everything he said was absolutely correct. You understand? And he's talking about Paula the damn White. Okay? He's talking about her and her blasphemous actions. And she's supposed to be a spiritual leader. You know, I just want you, baby, just listen.
White, a heretic, blaspheming Jezebel.
Woo!
She cannot tell the truth. She's a word of faith fanatic. I heard her say, the Spirit of the Lord just spoke to me right now and told me that 10 people were going to give $100,000. I heard her say, there is not a bit of difference between me and Jesus Christ. I heard her say, I'm going to pray for people tonight, but I'm not going to pray for you till you lay an offering down here on the altar. She's a blasphemer, a heretic, a deceiver, an apostate. And that's who he chose to help him do his conferences. By the way, that's who your president chose to be his faith advisor. Some of you won't look at me now.
Fuck that.
That's who the president chose to give him advice on faith. She does not represent me. She can't tell the truth. Those big shot guys cannot tell the truth. If they're trying to raise money constantly, they can't tell the truth. I want to tell you something. Our president needs some help. He needs some guidance. He needs help, but he's not going to get it from that. The only help he can get is when he falls on his knees. And calls on the name of the Lord. And I know the man. I talked to the man. The man is a friend of mine who sat in front of him as close as I am to my own hand and said, Mr. President, you must be born again. You've got to ask God for forgiveness for your sins. You cannot live in this kind of pride. You cannot be this arrogant. God won't let this last very long. I know the man that told him that. But he's not going to get any direction from somebody who doesn't even know what sound doctrine is.
Woo. My God, today. My God, today. He said what he said in front of his own congregation. He told them, some of y'all can't look at me. Some of y'all cannot look at me. And not one lie was told. Not one piece of lie was told in that whole soliloquy. Not one lie was told. They're asking for people to put money. You won't receive a blessing until you put money here, there. You better watch out for them type of folk. He is speaking the God honest truth. Okay? He is literally speaking the God honest truth. And these people better wake up and stop being blind sheep, because he's going to lead them straight to hell. Anyway, that's all my political commentary for today. But I did promise y'all that I would show y'all Dr. Catherine Matthews, the lady that ran up on that man yesterday. I showed y'all she ran up on that man yesterday and was talking about call me nigga. And they told the dude that they wanted to, they told the dude, they'll smack him so hard that he'll taste the ancestors and stuff. So she is, I did some research on her, and she is an activist she's a civil rights activist. And so there's some issues going on with a property in Texas where they have mold infestation, rat and roach infestation, different things like that. So she decided to pull up on, y'all got to go follow her. She is absolutely hilarious. Lord, I'm about to say, hey, K-Fit. Hey, Rainey. She's absolutely hilarious. And y'all got to pull up, watch her get busy. But she decides to go and pretty much, she went out there with a belt, y'all. She goes pretty much confronts the property manager, and y'all just watch. It's called La Casita Apartments.
She done ran out the back door. Go get she running. No, she's literally running. She's literally running out the back door. Like, why is she running? But why did she run? Hey, how you doing? So you tell me we don't have no comment. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I gotta come in. You better take that little ass wig off your head, bitch, because I'm finna get on y'all motherfucking ass. That's what I'm finna do. Because I don't give a fuck. My people came back and told me y'all over here with that bullshit. I'm gonna get on your motherfucking ass because that wig is ridiculous. Hi. All right, you. What's your name? Oh, so you knew John. I'm here. Oh, how you doing? John, you got your work cut out, brother.
Her name is Candace Matthews, and then it's Dr. at the end, DR at the end. Candace Matthews with an S. Okay. She is the same one who we saw run up right here.
Mr. Nigga right here. Yeah, that's your ass.
So you don't want like saying N-word, right?
Call people niggas.
You gonna call it N-word today? I bet you won't call in front of a black man like that.
I bet you won't call me
no
nigga.
Let me help you. You call a black woman N-word, call me that.
No, call me.
I dare you to do it. And I swear for God, I'll make you taste the ancestors.
Me too.
You a coward. Call that black woman the N-word. You a real coward, man. We'll catch you inside. Go right ahead. I guarantee you wouldn't do it in front of me.
Come on.
I know. In fact, I know you won't. Say the N-word in front of me.
Come on. Go on in there.
And I'll give you a taste of everything for the ancestors. Say it. Say it in front of me. I dare you to say it. It's Quanell X, but you'll learn it real well today.
Yeah.
Say it. I bet you won't say that word in my face. See, you talk to black women like that by themselves. You intimidate black women by themselves. But a black man, you won't open your goddamn mouth. I dare you to say it. I dare you to say it.
That hearing aid is, you get your old ass out. Joe, around with your bald head ass, you little spike little face looking bitch. I ain't playing with you.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Broadway, look here, tell Judge Bradshaw we're not bringing it into that courtroom, okay?
Tell Judge Bradshaw we ain't bringing that in the court. Yeah. She tickled me. Oh, when I tell y'all she tickles me, she tickles me. She tickles me. And if y'all want to see the parody that was done.
Here we go. So, Mr. Nigga right here. You the one like call people niggas. Call me a come on, Mr. Nigga. Bring them out. It's gonna be hard to yell with these hands in your mouth.
Excuse me, sister.
Come on.
Let me address this jigaboo right here. Huh? Don't you ever put your white slave hands on a black woman again.
You cow-looking bitch.
Don't you call her a nigga. I bet you won't do that to a black man, won't you? You're talking to a real nigga here. A nigga that's been picking cotton since cotton been picking cotton off the bone, nigga. I wish you won't do that. I will dig your ancestors and you meet my ancestors.
Dig them up, bitch.
You will meet Harriet Tubman the way I whoop the white green mile off your ass. Huh?
Get back.
Proverbs 12, 16, and 5. I shall whoop the white side and make it black on the inside.
Whoop his ass.
Huh?
Whoop that
You tried the wrong one, but you met the right one.
that trick.
Whoop that trick. Somebody get this jigaboo and make him fill these nigger shoes.
I didn't say nigger. I said nigga.
Move, nigga. Get out the way. If I see you on the highway, I will make catfish out of you on Friday. Hallelujah. I said him up in my teeth. I swear on God, I am a witness. Is there anybody here?
And what's your name?
My name is Kunta Mustafa Mufasa X. And you better not try to slash me with your white devil hands.
You went Muslim on me.
White starburst looking bitch.
You's a mystery airhead looking nigga. Yeah, we don't know your flavor.
You fun size, you ain't even a whole size.
Nigga, please.
Do you want a revolution?
Whoop. Cause I'm finna whoop your ass.
Let that-
Nigga, say it, nigga.
Let that white Donkey Kong looking ass.
Come on back.
Go on, walk through.
I'll show you my mind. I'm finna show you my mind.
I smack you.
You's a sellout. I know a real nigga when I see one.
Don't you ever try a real nigga in your life.
Put some honey mustard on this chicken tender.
I rebuke you.
You white motherfucker.
Nigga, please.
Here we go. So, Mr.
Ooh, y'all. Ooh, y'all. But this is her page right here, y'all. She cuss a lot now. She cuss a lot. But it's just about as good. Is this skit here. And after we do this skit, I'm gonna let y'all go.
Get on your feet.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
Tonight, we'll find fresh beers. We got it.
ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pop cup.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, everything organic.
Three, 7. Oh, are you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Get on your feet. 4.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're.
We're praying. Anywho, I thought I would end on a little bit of comedy here for you guys. I see it's a couple of new faces in here. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You know, we are here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for about an hour and 15 at the most. I try not to keep you guys too long, but remember, be aware. You're welcome, babe. Be aware of what is going on, but do not be discouraged. Drewski is wild. He is hilarious, and I can't wait to see him come out with more episodes. Tonight, Stephen Colbert's last night is tonight, so I'm sure he's going to go out with a bang. Let's watch him and drive his ratings completely up, and then after that, be done. I think, what is that, CBS Network? Be done with them. Don't watch them anymore so they feel the heat, and hopefully he finds a new home because he is a national treasure. I'm sure everybody of Who's Who is going to be there. If you are into sports, the New York Knicks do play tonight. Go Knicks, go Knicks. I do think that will go to a 6 game, have a 6 go all the way to 6. It'll be a series of 6. Also, remember, if Donald Trump's mouth is moving 10 times out of 10, he lying. Okay. Go figure out a way to save gas, stock up on your goods, your paper goods, your canned goods and things like that. Also, they have rolled back, you know, things with our drinking water. Yes, go Knicks, girl. Stand up, New York. I'm a New Yorker. Be careful of the bottled water that you buy now. Keep your eyes open for that. If you're not registered to vote, register. Please check your registration as well. And remember, don't allow the evilness to consume you. Battle it and keep on moving. Don't argue with ignorant folk. You know what I'm saying? Let Dr. Candace Matthews do that. You know what I'm saying? Let her do that. Take your eyes off of mainstream media, except for like Lawrence O'Donnell on MSNBC at nighttime. Also, Rachel Maddow. Lord, I can't think of the other guy's name. There's a couple. Then you got Don Lemon. You've got Joy Reid. You got a couple other people. I'm from Queens, New York, too, boo. You got a couple of other people that are good on YouTube that have created their own space. Get some real news that you can use and not the state media that we're seeing going on, because CNN is slowly turning into that too, except for Abby at night. And it's another chick over there that I like to watch, but Fox News is crazy. They're not even talking about, oh, I love me some Really B. That's my boo. I love me some Really B. Glad that you came over here, and come over here more often. We'll love on you. Things like that. Also, guys, I will put out my legal library that I'm building wish list. I'll put that out next week because I'm still compiling books for that. As if you're new here, I am an aspiring lawyer, so I'm building a legal library for myself of law books. So please, if you can buy something off of it, these books aren't going to be really that expensive, but I know a lot of people have asked me, is there a way that they can help me in this journey? So I said I was going to compile a wish list of law books so I can help build my legal library for myself, or whatever. Educate your children, you know, build a community, show up to some of these events to get in the know on how you can put skin in the game. And that might not be marching. We know things are going to look different, but put your skin in the game. They have now poked the bear and they want us out here. So here we are. Your voice needs to be heard in some type of way. It may not be speaking. It may be donating to a candidate. It may be talking to your neighbors about a candidate. It may be some of those things, but we got to get active and make sure you are checking where your children go to school at, because as you can see, racism is running rampant in the schoolhouse, and we must show up for our children. We must show up for our children and know that they're supported, because we can't always believe certain teachers, not all teachers, but certain teachers. Okay. Speak up, speak out, and take care of each other. And until next week, guys, have a great weekend. Get you some sunlight, touch grass, enjoy real life, love on your people, love on yourself. And more importantly, take care of your mental health, because this administration owes us free therapy for at least 2 to 3 years to come. Okay. But I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Politics in Plain English. We will see you next week.